Let's talk about eggs. Just a little bit. Hello everyone, Semiretiredbob here. I talk about the carnivore diet, all things related to the carnivore diet, miscellaneous odds and ends. And I'm asking you to join me as I prep to get down to Texas, which is happening sometime in the next couple of weeks. We'll see how things go. You might be wondering what you're watching. Well, what you're watching is you're watching me walk. I know that doesn't seem exciting, but 2.5 years ago I couldn't do this. I could barely stand for a couple of minutes without severe pain. Now I'm out here walking every day. So if you're new to the channel, I would like to say welcome. If you're returning to the channel, thanks for coming back. It means a lot to me that you spend just a few moments of your day with me. I would like to ask everyone to help me out just a little bit. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Drop down in the comments and say hi, Bob. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. All these things are absolutely free and help me get the word out that it's never too late to change your life. I'm 61 years old, and I'm doing things I couldn't do when I was 40. I had to turn away from that big hill that I normally walk up. There's a lot of people out here for as late as it is on a Monday. So we'll see how much of a video I get recorded today while I'm out here getting a little walk in. I didn't get to go up that big hill, so we'll just go around this way and see what we run into. But let's talk about eggs for just a moment. I saw a video, and it was a cute little video. And they were talking about, what you should look for on the label of your eggs, about how you should make sure they're, farm raised or pasture raised or whatever it was they were doing. And they were talking about how sorry they felt for the chickens that laid all of the commercial eggs. And that is a consideration. I feel sorry for those chickens too. I would like to see every chicken in the world have a better life. But I'm standing here, walking here, as living proof that you don't necessarily have to eat the very best eggs to have a good carnivore diet. Would it be nice if we could all afford the expensive eggs? Yeah, I think that would be great. And if everybody could afford the expensive eggs and more people bought the expensive eggs, the cheaper factory farm eggs would slowly get reduced in production. All of that is absolutely true. But those of us who just can't afford to eat like that, and I've talked about this before, many times actually, but it seems like it's one of those things that we have to talk about from time to time. I think we can take and just look at my progress over the last 2.5 years. I had that one little stint down in North Carolina where a friend was giving me some eggs once in a while from her chickens. But for the most part, I have eaten the cheapest grocery store eggs I can get my hands on, and I'm still making gains. Or I should say I'm still making progress. I'm still moving forward. I feel better than I have in 2.5 years. I should say I feel better than I have in 25 or 30 years. And I continue to be my best. So while, yes, it would be good for everybody if we could all afford to eat the very best eggs there are out there, the pasture raised, people that are letting their chickens scratch in the ground for bugs, and that's where they get most of their nutrition. Yes, those are the very best eggs. But here in Nebraska, I don't know what it's like in the rest of the country or the rest of the world, but here in Nebraska, those eggs are, you know, sometimes 4 and 5 times as much. So I certainly can't afford that. But you can see fall is in full blow mode here in Nebraska. The tree in my neighbor's front yard, as you can see, is bright yellow. I've been busy grinding up the leaves as they come down. And I'm going to show you some of that here in just a moment. In fact, why don't we go ahead and cue the music, and I'll explain why I grind them up after this little music section. I hope you enjoyed that. And as you can see here, let me turn the camera around so you can see. That was just yesterday's footage. And now I have leaves all over my yard again. So I'm probably going to do it again this afternoon. I keep doing it because if I keep after it, I shouldn't have to bag very much of it. and throw it away. What I like to do is keep ahead of it and keep it ground up so that the little chunks of leaves can lay there on the lawn, and they make a very good habitat for all the little bugs and things that like to live in lawns. And as it breaks down over the winter, it fertilizes my lawn. Only in extreme circumstances, like you saw one earlier this year, I did put some chemicals on it once this spring, but that was the first chemicals. That was a bag of stuff I had in the garage for the last 4 or 5 years. I very rarely have to use chemicals on my lawn, and I'd like to not have to ever do that again. We'll see what happens once they take these 2 big trees out. I won't have as many leaves on the lawn to grind up. So we'll see what happens with that moving forward. But yeah, would eating, farm fresh eggs out of your backyard be the very best? I think so, and that's what I'm planning on doing when I get down to Texas. One of my projects, not for the first year because I won't be down there, but the first year I'm down there full time, the very first thing I'm going to do is get chickens. I'll get some meat chickens and some egg chickens, but once you have animals on a homestead, you're pretty much tied to that homestead unless you have somebody willing to come out and watch your animals for a couple of days while you take off. But once I get to the point of moving down there full time, I don't think I will ever really have need to leave for more than a day to run errands. We'll see. Hopefully some friends come visit me, but maybe they won't. We'll find out. But don't worry about getting the very best food you can get. I've talked about this many, many times. Is eating the best food you can afford the best way to go? Absolutely. If I were to have just grass-finished beef and just pasture-raised eggs, I could afford to eat 3 or 4 days a month, and I'd be fasting the rest of the time. And I don't like to do that. We all know how Bob feels about long-term fasting, multiple times a month. But I have made really good progress. Could my progress be better if I could afford better food? Perhaps. I don't know, because I can't afford to do that experiment. So as Dr. Barry always says, just eat what you can afford. That's the very best food out there. And I hope you enjoyed that quick little clip of me grinding up the leaves. I am going to have to go through. I'm going to rake the driveway today and get some of these that are on the concrete into the trash bin, since tomorrow is trash day. I'll get some of them out of here. But for the most part, I like to grind them up on the lawn, put them in little rings around the trees so that holds down the weeds. But it is a beautiful day in Omaha, Nebraska. I hope everyone had a great weekend. Don't forget, get out there, be 1% better. Today, tomorrow, every day. Have a great day, folks. I'll see you in the next one.